restore a window per day? That's a good question. I think there's a lot of people out there who are in the window restoration arena who struggle with this question and even want to know, why would you even care about achieving a window per day? Well, let's just put it this way. When you can restore a window per day, then you can go out and you can make cash with window sash. And in order to be able to restore a window per day, you have to have a good order of operations, right? So let me just remind everybody that last year, about this time, maybe 13 months ago, I went to San Antonio, Texas, and me and a helper, we restored 30 windows in 15 days. That's 30 in 3 weeks. So how do we do it? Well, we had a good order of operations, and we went in with a plan, and we adjusted our plan as we went, and we got in and we got out. And the cool thing about that is that my shop, Wood Window Makeover, is based in Tampa, Florida. So I flew in and was able to do 30 windows in 15 days. That's 2 windows per day, okay? And if I can do 2 windows per day on average, doing 1 window per day on average is completely doable. Now, let me just also say that 30 windows in 15 days was a tall order, and it was a good scenario, and a lot of things went right, and I can promise you that I'm not going to do that again anytime soon. It was tough. I can tell you that. But in order to do that, I had to have some things right, And so I'm going to give you a couple of tips here on how to go about restoring 1 window per day on average, okay? Let's take a house, say it's got 20 windows in it, all right? The first thing that you have to have is a map of the house with a list of all of the potential problems that you know of, okay? And that right there is very, very important. You want to know what the sash sizes are, what the glass size is going to be, all that kind of stuff. So you go in with that, and then you do you do the first wave of work, and you have to work in cycles, right? So the first thing that you do is the mechanical makeover. And what's the mechanical makeover? That's the operation of taking the window apart and putting it back together again. And what that does is that releases the frames and the sashes. That allows you to put the sashes in one group and the frames in another group, and it helps you to isolate the work. And once you have that work isolated, then one person can work on the sashes and one person can work on the frames, okay? Now, a 2-person crew can do that. Ideally, you want to have 3 people. You want to have 1 person working on sashes, 1 person working on frames, and the person in the middle, runs interference. Brings tools, gets things set up, and broken down and cleaned up, stuff like that. That way, the producers can produce and get the job done. So, the first act, either after the mechanical makeovers are done, the first thing that happens is the stripping phase, and everything has to be stripped to what I would call the prime state and reprimed. And you can strip and prime a set of sashes in a day, and you can strip and prime a frame in a day. As a matter of fact, you can strip and prime a frame in the morning, right? And you can strip and prime a set of sashes in the morning. So that's half a window right there in half a day, okay? Because when you prime, you get everything to a prime state on the sashes, you can actually glaze that sash that day, all right? That's really, really important, getting the sash glazed that day. And that's in the morning, and then in the afternoon, you do a second set, right? You do another frame, and you do another set of sashes. That is 2 frames and two sets of sashes, halfway there, okay? Halfway to being restored. And you might have to do some wood repairs, you might have to do some things like that, but you were already prepared ahead of time, so you've got your tools ready to make that happen, and you can execute those repairs really, really fast because you're already set up. So I guess we could do a conversation on having the right setup to begin with, but that's another conversation. So you follow that cycle, go all the way around on that 20 window job, and you get everything to a prime state. You get everything, you get the mechanical makeover done, and you get everything primed and glazed, right? That's the first cycle that you go through. Then, once everything is primed and glazed, now that should be, let's see, 20 windows, 2 a day. You'll do that in 10 days. That's 2 weeks, okay? And then the rest of it is taking it apart and putting, and painting everything and putting it back together. And the painting, if you've done your prep right, will go a lot faster than the stripping and the priming. So that's the second cycle is the painting, and then the last cycle is reassembling everything. Is I would call it like the second half of the mechanical makeover, where you reassemble everything, tune it all up, give it the locks on, clean the glass, all that kind of stuff. You do all that. That's the second 2 weeks. That's 4 weeks. That's 20 days. That's 20 windows. So that's basically how you do it. You have to have the right order of operations to begin with. And if you follow that type of a plan, you can get it done. Remember, I did that without a shop. I did it all on site. So do you need a big shop? No. Is a big shop helpful? Yes. It's very, very helpful in, making things, easy and comfortable. But guess what? If you don't have a shop, you don't need one. You can go in and you can still get in and get out if you have the right order of operations and you hustle. You have to hustle. I think that one of the downfalls that a lot of people in the window restoration industry come across, or they have, is that they enter the window restoration arena as second careers after doing things like, having a corporate job or an IT job, or sitting behind a desk and they get tired of that, or they've been in school all their life, that kind of thing. It's really, really helpful to have a construction background where you know how to produce some work, because that's the whole idea, is you have to know how to produce some work. And so that's the idea. So to get an average of 1 window per day, you start off with a mechanical makeover. You get that done. First step. Second step, strip and prime. And then third step, paint. And then finally, assemble and tune. All of those things, put together will give you an upper hand in getting these jobs done, and you'll be able to get in and get out of a project, flip the project, so to speak, and then start on the next one. And if you're charging a decent amount, not exorbitant but decent on that, think about it. Let's say a restoration job is $1,000 a window. That includes the mechanical makeover, the frame restoration, and the sash restoration. When you've got when you've got that for $1,000 a window, 20 windows, $20,000, that's $5,000 week, which is probably enough to live on, I think. You know, you can get some tools, you can invest in yourself, and you know, maybe even take a week off if you want to. So anyway, that's Steve Quillian on how to average one window restoration per day, and that's really per crew. Okay, and I've got nothing but time here. I'm driving down the road on my way to Houston with a set of sashes that we restored, and I'm going to go and reinstall those. And then I'm off to Alabama after that with another set of sashes to deliver and install those. And when you're on the road like this, you've got a lot of time to think. So you guys get the benefit of me thinking. Or, I don't know, maybe you think it's a benefit, maybe you don't. But this is what I got to say. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and look forward to hearing your feedback on it. Again, I cannot read comments right now because I am driving down the road, and I'm in Louisiana right now. And if you guys have ever driven down I-10 in Louisiana, you know you've really got to keep your eyes on the road. So I'm going to end this now so I can continue driving, and we'll catch you in a little bit. All right. Listen, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Ask me your questions. I'll help you out any way I can.